Mina stepped off the small Earth shuttle and looked around with wide eyes. She had never seen a space station so large or bright before. Harmony Station floated like a shining wheel above a blue-green planet. It was known as the galaxy's most famous music station, where singers, dancers, and performers from many planets came to show their talent. But Mina wasn't here to sing. She had come to work as a cleaner. Her brown travel bag hung from her shoulder. It carried only a few things: some clothes, a photo of her grandmother, and a small notebook filled with old Earth songs. She held it close to her heart as she walked slowly through the busy halls of the station. Aliens of all kinds passed her by. Some were tall and silver, others floated without feet, and some had faces like glowing masks. Many of them wore colorful costumes. Music filled the air, soft tunes from speakers, alien beats from nearby rooms, and the distant hum of rehearsals. Mina felt small, but she didn't feel afraid. Back on Earth, she had lived in a quiet town where few people noticed her. She worked in a tea shop and looked after her grandmother until she passed away. Her grandmother used to sing every evening. Simple, sweet songs about the stars, the rivers, and dreams. Mina loved to listen. She also sang, but only when she was alone. When her grandmother died, she had no family left. A job offer came from Harmony Station, nothing grand, just a cleaning position. It paid well, and she could live in a shared space. So she packed her things and came. "Room at 12, she whispered, checking the paper in her hand. She found her way to the workers' area. The hallway was quiet there. The walls were gray but clean, and small lights blinked above every door. She opened her room and stepped in. It was simple. One bed, one small table, a closet, and a window showing the stars. Mina smiled. She placed her bag down and opened her notebook. She touched the pages softly, as if they were made of light. Later that day, she reported to her supervisor, a short alien with orange eyes named Relo. He handed her a cleaning tool, a map of the station, and a chip for door access. "You clean only public areas and unused music rooms," Relo said. "No touching equipment, no talking to singers. Be quick, be quiet." Mina nodded. She followed the schedule. Every day she cleaned the shining halls, the resting zones, and the echoing music rooms. The rooms were beautiful walls shaped like waves, floors that glowed, and ceilings that changed color based on sound. Sometimes she saw singers practicing. Most were proud and loud. Some smiled at her, but most didn't notice her at all. She didn't mind. She liked the music. And when the rooms were empty, she liked them even more. One evening, she entered a small sound hall room, V7. It wasn't used much, and the lights were dim. As she wiped the control panel, she saw a button blinking, voice sensor active. She didn't touch it. Instead, she stood in the center of the room and looked around. It was quiet, safe, empty. And so she sang. Just a little tune one her grandmother used to sing. "Fly, little star, above the sky, tell the moon I said goodbye. Shine so soft, and shine so near, I'll dream again while you are here." Her voice was soft but clear. It echoed across the room like a warm wind. She smiled, closed her eyes, and sang one more line. Then she stopped and laughed a little to herself. "I must be silly," she whispered. She cleaned the rest of the room and left. What Mina didn't know was that the room's AI sound system had recorded her song. It was set to monitor sounds and report unusual tones. When she sang, the system noticed her pitch, tone, and frequency. It flagged the recording as highly uncommon and sent it to the station's main sound director. The next day, the file reached someone else. Zarnal. Zarnal was the most famous singer on Harmony Station. He had won the Galaxy Sound Contest 3 times. His voice was smooth, his clothes always shining, and his stage shows full of light, fire, and dancers. Zarnal had no love for simple things. He believed in power, beauty, and control. When he opened the recording and heard Mina's voice, he raised one shiny eyebrow. He played it again and again. Then he laughed. "What is this?" he said. "A human cleaner sings lullabies now?" His assistant, a tall blue alien named Kelto, shook his head. The system said the tone was rare. "Some say healing." "Healing?" Zarnel scoffed. "It's nothing but a bedtime song." But the idea stayed in his mind. He thought it would be funny to show her off, just once. A little joke before his next big performance. "Find her," he told Kelto. "Put her on stage tomorrow. No warning, no training. Let's see how Earth's little bird sings when the lights are on." Kelto frowned. "Are you sure?" "Absolutely," Zarnel said with a wicked smile. "The crowd loves surprises, especially bad ones." Back in her room, Mina didn't know what was coming. She looked out the window and sang softly again, unaware that the stars outside were already listening. The next morning on Harmony Station began like any other. Mina woke up early, brushed her hair, and looked at the stars through her small window. She felt calm. There was something about singing alone that gave her peace. She had no idea that her quiet moment from the night before had reached the ears of someone powerful. She put on her uniform and walked to her cleaning post as usual. On the way, she hummed lightly, her voice soft and smooth. A few aliens passed her in the hall, but didn't notice. Just another human worker doing her job, but someone was noticing her now. From high above the main hall, Zarnel stood behind a glass panel, watching her on a screen. His shiny silver jacket reflected the lights around him as he sipped a glowing blue drink. "That's her?" he asked. "Yes, sir," Kelto replied, standing beside him. "She's scheduled to clean the rehearsal rooms today," Zarnel grinned. "Perfect. Tell the stage crew. She performed tonight, but she doesn't know," Kelto said quietly. "She's not ready," Zarnel waved his hand. "That's the point. A little surprise, a little fun before my main show." Mina arrived at room V7 again. She liked this room more than the others. It felt peaceful, like a secret place just for her. She hummed while dusting the soundboard, not knowing the same sensors were still active. Her voice once again danced through the silent room. Later that day, as she was wiping the glass doors of the mini concert hall, a tall silver droid rolled toward her. It stopped with a soft beep and showed a blinking message. "Your presence is required in the Star Stage Hall at 1900 hours. Mina blinked. "Me?" The droid beeped again and rolled away. She stared at the screen for a long time. Star Stage Hall? That was where famous singers performed. She looked at the time. It was already afternoon. Why did they want her there? Her hands trembled slightly. She went back to her room and changed into her cleanest clothes. A simple white dress, not fancy but neat. She brushed her hair and put her notebook in her pocket, just in case. At exactly 1900, she walked into the hall. The Star Stage Hall was massive. Lights sparkled on the ceiling like stars. Rows and rows of aliens filled the seats, blue, green, tall, short, glowing. The air was full of laughter and excitement. A warm purple mist floated above the stage, and soft music played in the background. Zarnel stood on stage, smiling at the audience. "Tonight," he said, his voice smooth and full, "I bring you something very different. A gift from Earth. A true mystery." People looked at each other in confusion. "She is not trained," Zarnel continued. "She is not famous. She's a cleaner from Earth. But she sings." He smiled, his eyes shining. "Let's give her a warm welcome, Mina." The lights turned to the side of the stage. Mina stood there, frozen. The crowd clapped politely, unsure what to expect. Mina's heart beat fast. She hadn't agreed to this. She looked at the crowd, then at Zarnel, who nodded with a playful grin. Slowly, she walked toward the center of the stage. The microphone stood in front of her, waiting. The light was warm on her face. The audience was silent now, watching, expecting. She held the mic with both hands. Her voice trembled as she whispered, I'm not a singer. I just sing. No one replied. She looked down. Then she closed her eyes. She thought of her grandmother, sitting by the window, singing in the kitchen, smiling as she mixed honey into tea. The memory gave her courage. She took a breath and sang, "Come little breeze, dance in the air, tell every leaf, someone is there. Soft is the sound, deep is the sky, even the stars are passing by." Her voice was soft, but it filled the room like sunlight. It had no music behind it, no dancers, no lights flashing, but something happened. The crowd fell completely silent. The purple mist around the stage shimmered and rose higher. The glowing crystals on the wall changed color slowly, responding to the sound. Some aliens blinked in surprise. Others leaned forward, listening closely. One child in the front row whispered to his mother, "Is this Earth magic?" Mina kept singing. Hearts may be far, songs bring them near, even in dark, hope can appear. So come, little dream, fly with the day, sing with the stars, don't drift away. When she finished, she opened her eyes slowly. The room was completely still. Then someone clapped. Then another. Then more. Soon, the whole hall was clapping softly at first, then loudly. Cheers followed. Mina stood still, not sure what had just happened. Zarnel's smile had faded. He clapped too, but his eyes looked confused. She bowed gently and walked off the stage. As soon as she left, the backstage workers looked at her with wide eyes. One of them whispered, "You made the sound crystals glow. No one's done that without tech." Another said, "I felt something like home, even though I'm from a different planet." Mina just smiled softly. It was just a song. Far above the hall, the AI systems recorded the entire performance. One system flagged the song as emotion level, maximum. Another tagged her frequency as a match to an old human signal once believed to calm neural stress. The galactic database added a new file, untrained Earth voice, full impact recording. And so, a simple woman who came to clean had just shaken the heart of Harmony Station. After the performance, Mina sat quietly in her small room. The stars outside her window twinkled softly, but her heart was still racing. She didn't plan to sing. She didn't even know there was an audience waiting. She held her notebook tightly. It felt warm now, as if her grandmother's voice still lived in its pages. "I just sang what I remembered," she whispered to herself. But something had changed. That night, Harmony Station's networks buzzed with her name. "Earth Cleaner Sings." Like the Stars was the title of many video clips. Aliens from different sectors posted comments in surprise and wonder. Some laughed, some cried, and some simply wrote, "We felt something." But not everyone was happy. In a large silver room at the top of the station, Zarnel sat in silence, watching the recording again. His face showed no smile this time. He had invited Mina on stage as a joke, a little fun for the crowd. But now everyone was talking about her. He leaned back in his chair. "She didn't even have music," he said coldly. Kelto stood nearby. Her voice activated the sound crystals. "That only happens during rare frequency shifts." Zarnel frowned. "She's not trained. She's not even a performer. She's a worker." "But she connected with the audience," Kelto replied. Zarnel stood up quickly. "This is my stage, my station. My name is known across 9 systems. And now they whisper about a cleaner from Earth." He paced the floor, then turned sharply. "She will perform again," he said. "But this time, it won't be a surprise. It will be public, full audience, full pressure. Let's see if she still sings when everyone is watching." The next morning, a message arrived in Mina's room. "You are invited to perform in the Galaxy Sound Preview Show, Main Hall, 3 days from now. Formal appearance required. do not be late. She stared at the message for a long time. Me? Again? She felt nervous. She had never sung in front of such a big audience before. Last time was an accident. This time, it would be real. Part of her wanted to say no. But deep inside, another part wanted to try. She remembered how quiet the room had become when she sang. How peaceful everything felt. How connected. She opened her notebook and wrote a new song that afternoon. A song of courage. A song of trying even when afraid. The day of the show arrived. Harmony. Station was busier than ever. Visitors from over 20 planets came for the Galaxy Sound preview. Lights blinked across the outer rings. Floating posters showed faces of popular singers, including Zarnal. But one new face appeared on a few screens. A simple photo of Mina with the words, "The voice from Earth." Inside the grand hall, seats filled quickly. Aliens chatted in. Their languages, floating translation bots flying between them. The main stage was huge, shaped like a star. A giant screen hovered above it. Zarnal arrived in a silver robe covered with crystals. When he stepped on stage, the crowd cheered loudly. He sang a dramatic piece with heavy beats, loud instruments, and bright flashes of light. Holograms danced around him. Flames lit the air. His voice, trained and perfect, filled every corner of the hall. He smiled proudly as the crowd clapped. Then, the lights changed. A soft blue glow filled the room. "Mina of Earth," said the voice. From the speaker, "Please take the stage." The crowd quieted. Mina stepped onto the stage. She wore a simple blue dress and soft shoes. Her hair was tied back, and in her hand, she held her small notebook. No background music. No dancers. No holograms. Only her. She looked around once. Her heart beat fast, but she remembered her grandmother's words. When you sing, don't think about the crowd. Think about the sky. She closed her eyes and began. I walk alone, but stars above still shine their light and show me love. I fear the fall, I fear the sound, but in my voice, my strength is found. The crowd was silent. Even the air itself seemed to pause. I am not rich, I have no name, but dreams I keep still burn like flame. I don't have gold, I don't wear pride, but songs I sing won't run and hide. As she sang, something strange began to happen. The floor beneath her glowed softly. The giant screen above showed waves of light moving with her voice. Some aliens held their chests, feeling warmth. Others whispered, "What is this feeling?" One tall alien from a cold world had tears in his eyes. Her voice. Reminds me of home. Even the station's AI systems registered something new. Emotion level, beyond standard. Zarnal, standing in the back, clenched his jaw. Mina finished her song and opened her eyes. The entire hall stood up. Clapping. Cheering. No one laughed. No one mocked her. They stood for a human cleaner who had no fame, no tech and no formal training, only a true voice. She bowed slowly. After the show, news spread like a storm. Earthwoman melts hearts of the galaxy. Cleaner turns star. In one song, many musicians sent messages. Some wanted to learn from her. Others simply thanked her. Mina walked quietly back to her room, still in her blue dress. She sat by the window and looked at the stars. She didn't feel like a star. She just felt human. And for the first time in her life, that was more than enough. Mina's second performance became the talk of the galaxy. By morning, her soft song had been shared on over 100 worlds. Some planets replayed her singing during breakfast news. Others called her the heart voice. She didn't understand how things changed so quickly. Just days ago, she was cleaning windows and wiping floors. Now people sent her flowers, letters, even gifts, small ones from strange planets. She got messages like, "Your song healed my sleep." "My child stopped crying when we played your voice." "I didn't know humans could sing like that." But Mina didn't care about fame. She still wore simple clothes and ate simple food. She only sang when she felt something inside her heart. One morning, Rilo, her old supervisor, came to visit her. "You are not a cleaner anymore," he said kindly, handing her a badge. "You are now under the station's cultural talent program." Mina looked at the badge. It read, "Official guest artist, Harmony Station." "But I didn't ask for this," she said. Rilo nodded. "You didn't need to. The station asked for you." In the sound labs deep inside the station, scientists and music experts played her song over and over. One alien named Dr. Savi, who studied audio patterns, stared at the data in shock. "This is not just a voice," she told her team. "There is a unique wave inside her notes. The same type of sound found in ancient Earth signals." Her assistant blinked. "From the old Earth radio towers?" "No," Dr. Savi replied, zooming into the wave chart. "Older, from before recorded music. Songs from the forests, the rivers, the sky." The data glowed green. The system labeled Mina's voice as natural harmony level 99%, a score never seen before. Even the machines were moved by her singing. Elsewhere, Zarnal sat in his private chamber, silent. His name still appeared in news stories, but now it came second. Zarnal performs after Earthstar's song. He didn't like it. He had power. He had fans. But Mina had something else, truth, no effects, no lights. "And still, she shook the whole station," he said to himself. Kelto entered quietly. "The Council of Sounds has requested her to join the final Galaxy Sound Contest next week." Zarnal stood slowly. "What?" "They say her voice is beyond art. They want her as a finalist." Zarnal narrowed his eyes. "Then I will be the one to stop her." That evening, Mina was invited to a special dinner with music leaders from different planets. The room sparkled with light, and many wore shining clothes. Mina wore her same blue dress and kept her notebook in her hand. The grand listener from Planet Talus stood up. He had golden ears and a soft smile. "We honor the human," he said kindly. "Her voice is rare. Her heart is clear. We wish for her to sing at the final contest next week." Mina stood slowly. "I am honored. But I don't know how to compete. I just sing what I feel." The room was quiet for a moment. Then the grand listener smiled again. "That is why you must sing, because your songs are not competition. They are connection." The next days were busy. Mina practiced quietly in room V7, her favorite place. The lights there were soft and the air was peaceful, but she didn't sing new songs. Instead, she closed her eyes and waited. She believed songs must come from the heart, not from pressure. One evening, she felt something new. A small memory her grandmother walking in the garden, picking flowers, humming to the wind. From that memory, a song was born. "Hold my hand, don't let it go, even when the night moves slow. In the silence, feel the sound that brings the lost ones safely round." She wrote it in her notebook. Meanwhile, news about Mina reached places far beyond the station. Some called her a gift, others called her a mystery. And one group from the planet Karu said, "She sings in a way that calms minds. Even machines feel peace." Back in the control room, an AI specialist named Juno ran an experiment. He played Mina's recording near 3 stressed droids who had been malfunctioning. After just 1 minute of her singing, all 3 machines began to work normally again. He recorded the result and sent it to the station. Council, Zarnal saw the report and grew more worried. If she sings again and wins, no one will remember me, he whispered. So he made a plan. One day before the big contest, Mina received a visit from a young alien assistant. "Ma'am," the assistant said softly, "Zarnal invites you to join him in his studio. He says he wants to help with your performance." Mina was surprised. She didn't know what to say. Still, she nodded. "Okay, I'll come." She followed the assistant to a glowing silver room. Inside, Zarnel sat in a tall chair, holding a large cup of tea. He smiled wide. "Mina, welcome." She smiled politely. "You wanted to see me?" "Yes," he said. "I wanted to offer help. I think you should add lights and sounds to your next song. People love a big show." Mina shook her head gently. "But my songs are simple." Zarnel's smile faded a little. "Simple doesn't always win, dear." She looked at him calmly. "I didn't come to win. I came to sing." Zarnel didn't reply. Mina turned and left the room. Back in her small space, Mina sat by the window again. The stars were quiet, and the whole station seemed to sleep. She opened her notebook and whispered to the night, "Tomorrow, I'll sing for those who feel small, for those who are forgotten, for those who believe they have no place." She touched the page and smiled, and far across the station, many who had heard her voice were already waiting. The day of the Galaxy Sound Contest finally arrived. Harmony Station was brighter than ever. Thousands of lights floated around it like stars dancing in joy. Spaceships from over 30 planets had docked to watch the event live. Millions more were watching from their homes, space stations, and even faraway colonies. Inside the Grand Hall, the audience filled every seat. Alien reporters floated with their recorders. The ceiling glowed with changing colors. The contest stage had been rebuilt to look like a giant lotus, slowly opening with every new performance. Mina stood backstage, holding her notebook. Her hands were a little cold. She took a deep breath and reminded herself, "I don't have to win. I only have to sing from the heart." The show began with powerful performances. The stage lit up with fire, water displays, gravity flips, and dancing machines. A singer from the moon of Rada sang in 5 voices at once. A group from planet Vela played invisible instruments in the air. Then came Zarnel. He stood tall in a golden outfit that sparkled with moving lights. His show began with flying dancers, loud beats, and flashing beams that moved with every word he sang. His voice was perfect. Crowd clapped loudly. Some even stood and waved glowing sticks. Zarnel smiled proudly. "Let's see how the Earth Girl follows that," he thought. The lights dimmed. The announcer's voice echoed through the hall. "Next, a voice from Earth. A song without machines. A song from the heart. Please welcome, Mina." The audience went quiet. A soft blue light appeared in the center of the stage. Mina walked slowly, wearing the same simple blue dress. No makeup, no dancers, no background music. Only her notebook in hand. She looked at the crowd. So many eyes. Then she looked up at the stars painted on the ceiling. She closed her eyes and sang, "There are days I walk alone, far from home, and far unknown. But even there, a song will stay, to guide my feet and light the way." The hall became still. No one moved. No one made a sound. Her voice touched every wall, every ear, every heart. Even the camera zoomed in quietly, capturing her eyes, her expression, her strength. The stars may hide, the sky may turn, but still inside, the embers burn. So here I sing, without a crown, a simple voice that won't fall down. As she sang the final note, the floor lit up with a soft silver glow. The air around her shimmered. A gentle breeze moved her hair, and the ceiling, for the first time in the contest's history, opened to show the real stars above. She stood alone. Glowing. The crowd rose in silence. Then clapped, then cheered. Louder. Stronger. Many aliens were crying softly. Some touched their hearts. Others simply stood with eyes full of light. Even the translation bots couldn't explain what they were feeling, but everyone knew they had witnessed something special. Backstage, the organizers looked at each other. One said, "Did you feel that?" Another replied, "It was like remembering who we are." Even Zarnel stood still. He couldn't speak. For the first time in years, he felt something he didn't expect, small, After the show, messages flooded the station's network. Social waves spread across planets. Earth's song is real. Mina is the true voice of the galaxy. This is not music. This is meaning. Clips of Mina's performance were shared in hundreds of languages. On the quiet moon of Els, a child who never spoke before began to hum her melody. On a far mining planet, workers paused their tools just to listen again. And in the machine world of Tychon, robots stopped moving for 3 seconds during her final note. A rare moment of stillness. Mina returned to her room late at night. She didn't attend the big after-party. She didn't wear a crown. She didn't even check the news. She sat on her bed, opened her notebook, and looked out the window. "I just sang," she whispered. "That's all." The stars out seemed to twinkle in agreement. Suddenly, her room's screen blinked. Incoming. Message from the Galactic Council. She opened it slowly. A short video played. It showed leaders from many planets, all seated in a circle. One spoke. "Mina of Earth, your voice has moved the galaxy. We invite you to become an official Peace Voice, a title given only to those whose sound connects all living beings." Another added, "You do not need to leave your room. You do not need to wear new clothes. You only need to keep singing." Mina smiled quietly. She didn't need titles. But it felt good to be heard. The next day, she received a gift from an alien child. A small rock with music carved into it. No machine. Just scratches and tiny holes that, when blown through, made the same sound as her song. The message read, "Now I sing too." Mina held the gift close. She didn't want to be a star. She only wanted others to sing. Far away on Earth, people started playing her songs in schools, gardens, and homes. One old man in a village said, "We forgot what a true song sounded like. This girl reminded us." Even Earth's leaders invited her to return. But Mina chose to stay on Harmony Station, not for fame, but because many quiet voices needed someone to show them it was okay to speak, to sing, and to feel. And that was her gift. A voice not for power, but for peace. The official results of the Galaxy Sound Contest were announced the next day. The broadcast was shown live on all major channels across space. On some planets, huge crowds gathered in open fields. On others, families watched from tiny space homes. Even miners on asteroid belts stopped their work just to hear the final words. The council speaker appeared on screen. Her voice was gentle but clear. "This year's Galaxy Sound Contest has given us powerful performances. Each one was special. But one voice reached beyond sound. It reached the soul." Mina sat quietly in a small chair inside her room on Harmony Station. She was wearing her same blue dress. The lights were off. Only the stars from her window lit the room. She didn't expect anything. She didn't want a trophy. She had already received something greater: kindness from strangers, songs from children, letters from places she had never heard of. Still, she listened. The voice on the broadcast continued, "The winner of this year's Galaxy Sound Contest is Mina of Earth." There was silence in her room. Her heart stopped for a moment. Then came a soft knock on her door. She stood up and opened it. Outside stood a small group: station staff, a few performers, and Rilo, her old supervisor. All were smiling. Rilo stepped forward. "You did it." She looked at them surprised. "But I'm just me." Rilo laughed kindly. "That's why you won." They handed her a small glass star symbol. No gold, no flashing lights. Just a clear, shining symbol of her voice. Soon after, Mina was invited to sing again, this time for the Union of Worlds, a peaceful council of over 40 planets. The concert would be held on the planet of Harmony, a calm world covered in soft hills, quiet rivers, and glowing trees. It was a place where no weapons were allowed, and every species was treated equally. Mina agreed. Not for fame, but because she was told that people there were hurting. Some had lost family. Others had no homes. Many were afraid of the future. She wanted to sing for them. The ship that carried her to the planet was silent and smooth. It had no music, only the sound of stars outside. During the flight, Mina wrote a new song. It came to her slowly, one line at a time. She thought of those who had nothing, those who had dreams but no voice, and those who had never heard a kind song in their life. When she landed on the planet, a group of children greeted her. Some had flowers. Others just smiled shyly. A tall alien woman with green eyes welcomed her. "Thank you for coming," she said. "Many here do not speak, but they listen." Mina nodded gently. "That's enough." The open-air concert was held under a wide night sky. There was no stage, no walls, only a circle of soft lights on the grass with people sitting all around. There were no cameras, no news channels, just living beings, waiting to hear something honest. Mina walked into the circle, carrying nothing but her notebook. She didn't speak. She didn't need to. She closed her eyes and began. "If your hands are tired, rest them here. If your heart is heavy, bring it near. No need to fight, no need to run. Under the sky, we are all one." The wind moved gently through the grass. The trees swayed slowly. Some in the crowd closed their eyes. Others placed their hands on the ground, feeling the music. The world is wide. The road is long, but still we rise, still we belong. No voice too small, no hope too late. We're made to love, not made for hate. As the song ended, a quiet peace fell over the crowd. Then something unexpected happened. A young boy stood up. He had not spoken in years, but now he sang a soft line from her song. Then a girl joined him, then an elder. One by one, voices began to rise, not trained, not perfect, but real. Soon, the whole field was singing with her words. It wasn't just a concert anymore. It was a joining of hearts. Later that night, Mina sat by a river on the edge of the forest. The stars reflected in the water. The glass star, the trophy, was beside her on the grass. She didn't touch it. She didn't need to. Zarnal walked up behind her quietly. He was no longer wearing gold, just a plain jacket. No cameras followed him. "I watched you sing," he said. Mina turned slightly. "I didn't see you in the crowd. I stayed far," he replied. "Didn't think I should be near." Mina didn't say anything. Zarnal sat down a few feet away. "I wanted to win so badly," he said, looking at the river. "I forgot what music really means." Mina spoke softly. "Music isn't to show power, it's to share peace." He nodded slowly. "You taught me that, without trying." She looked at him and gave a gentle smile. "Everyone can sing, even those who forgot how." Zarnal stood. "Will you teach me?" Mina stood too, holding her notebook. "I won't teach you how to sing," she said, "but I'll remind you how to listen." He bowed his head. "Thank you." Then he walked away. The next day, Harmony Station sent her a message. They wanted to build a listening garden, a place where anyone could come, sit, and listen to voices from across the stars. They wanted to name it after her, but she gave them a different idea. "Don't name it after me," she wrote. "Name it after the first person who sings there." Back on the station, her cleaning tools were placed in a small glass case with a note. This was the beginning. And nearby, a child touched the case and whispered, "One day, I'll sing too." Mina didn't become a queen or a legend. She remained what she had always been, a simple person with a real voice. But because of her, the stars became a little quieter, and hearts across the galaxy sang a little louder. The stars shone bright over Harmony Station as Mina prepared for her final public performance on the station. It wasn't a contest or a show, but a celebration, a gathering of beings from all corners of the galaxy to honor the power of simple voices and honest songs. Mina stood backstage in her quiet room, wearing a soft white dress this time. Her notebook rested on the table, filled with songs she had written over many months. She smiled as she touched its worn pages. "Just one more song," she whispered. "One last song before a new beginning." Outside the hall, the crowd had gathered early. Aliens of every shape and size filled the seats. Some wore glowing robes, others carried small instruments. There was no loud music or flashing lights, just a peaceful hum of quiet voices. The hall was unlike any Mina had seen before. The walls were made of crystal, catching the light and bending it into soft rainbows. The ceiling opened like a flower, revealing a blanket of stars stretching into forever. The announcer spoke gently. "Tonight, we celebrate Mina of Earth, who showed us all that even the simplest voice can change the galaxy." Mina stepped onto the stage. She looked out at the crowd and felt a wave of warmth. This was not a contest. This was a homecoming. She opened her notebook and began to sing. "When the night is long and the stars seem far, remember the light that you are." A voice, a song, a heart so true, the universe sings along with you. Her voice was soft and pure. It carried across the hall like a gentle breeze, wrapping around every listener. No matter the world, no matter the place, we find our strength in hope and grace. Together we rise, together we stand, bound by the song, hand in hand. As she sang, the crystal walls shimmered, and the stars above seemed to pulse in time with her melody. The crowd closed their eyes, many wiping tears from their faces. Among the audience, Zarnal watched quietly. His face was calm, changed from the proud competitor he once was. He had learned that music was not about power or fame, but about connection. Mina's song finished softly. The hall was silent for a moment. Then, the crowd rose in a gentle standing ovation. No loud cheers, just deep, heartfelt clapping that echoed like a heartbeat. After the performance, Mina walked off the stage and into the crowd. No security stopped her, no cameras followed. She was simply herself, just Mina, the woman who had sung from her heart. She saw children with shining eyes, aliens smiling with gratitude, and even elders who nodded in quiet thanks. One small alien girl took Mina's hand. "Thank you," she said simply. Mina knelt down and smiled warmly. "You're welcome," she replied. "And now it's your turn to sing." Over the next weeks, Mina helped start the Voice of the Galaxy program on Harmony Station. It was a place where anyone could come to learn, share, and sing, no matter who they were or where they came from. She taught that songs didn't have to be perfect. They just had to be true. Every day, new voices joined. Some were shy. Some were loud, but all were listened to. Mina's own voice became quieter in public, but stronger in private. She sang not for applause, but for comfort, for peace, for hope. One evening, as Mina sat by her window looking at the stars, a soft chime sounded. It was a message from Earth. A simple note said, "Your songs have reached us all. The world is listening. We thank you, Mina." She smiled and closed her eyes. Her grandmother's voice seemed to sing softly in the air. "Sing your song, no matter where you are." Years later, Mina stood again on the Star Stage Hall, this time as a teacher and a friend. A young human boy stepped forward nervously. Mina smiled and handed him her old notebook. "Your voice matters," she said. "Sing it loud." The boy nodded and began to sing. His voice was not perfect, but it was real. And that was enough. Harmony Station became known as the heart of the galaxy, a place where voices from many worlds joined together in harmony. And it all started because a simple woman, once a cleaner, dared to sing. Because when a true voice rises, it can change the universe.